Hi my loves, welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk about how I stopped myself from sharing my light with the world because I was so afraid of my brilliance, of my greatness, of my light. And I know that so many of us are so comfortable with doing the same things each day, with having the same group of friends, with having the same partner for 10,000 years. And it's like you're just doing the deed. You're just going through life without any sort of self-awareness, without any sort of excitement. This video is for people that are maybe questioning themselves or feeling like they're stuck. Like, why can't I be happy? Why can't I find success in what I'm doing in my life? So if you're interested, keep on watching. Firstly, I'm going to share a little bit about my story. So when I was younger, dancing was my passion. That was what lit up my soul. It still is. It will always be something that is my gift, something that has saved me from myself, from my depression, from my anger. And so when I was younger, I used to get paid, I remember $100 doing one show here, one show there. And that was great, being a background dancer, making a little bit of money. That was fun and exciting. And my mother was someone who always wanted to be a dancer. She always wanted to be in the limelight, but unfortunately she didn't make it. So she was that force that kind of pushed me into these things. And looking back at it now, first I was like, oh, she just kind of made me do what she wanted to do. But then I kind of looked at it as that's what gave me all this confidence in myself, and it made me comfortable with being uncomfortable, because being a dancer, it is a pathway to feeling uncomfortable many of the times because you're putting yourself out there, you're being vulnerable with the world. So as a teenager, all I heard was dancing, acting. That was always part of my upbringing. And so after high school, my parents wanted me to get a university degree. My dad was telling me, you're a woman, so you need to go into the airline industry, or you need to go into the hotel industry. I don't know why my dad kept saying this to me, but he was like, you can be a manager in a hotel. Like, wow, that's great. Thanks, Dad. So that's what he thought. And when I heard my dad say that all I could do in this lifetime is be a hotel manager, something inside of me was screaming, saying, hail to the no, like that is not going to be my life. But one thing that I just innately always knew or had was this sense of self. Like I just always knew what I wanted to do and what I did not want to do. It was a very strong, powerful force that I cannot really explain. And so I decided then not to go to university and just get a degree, because the rest of the world is getting a degree and I don't want to be in 50K debt when I don't even know what I want to do. I just found that so ridiculous, even though some people just went in there, and no shade to anybody who did that, because everyone has their own journey and reasoning for why they are where they are, which is perfectly fine. But that was just not my destination. I just knew it from the very start. Another thing about me is that I was a very stubborn little child. I was very rebellious. I was very stubborn. I begged my parents to take me to India. I just saw myself there. I saw myself being a Bollywood actress, and I wanted to do dancing. I wanted to do something in the arts. I did not care where or what it was, but because I grew up listening to and watching Bollywood movies, I thought, hey, like I see myself doing that. And so that was something that was always circling my mind. And so after a long conversation, my dad said, okay, I will take you there. My dad is very protective, and I just knew this was going to be a disaster from the starting point, because he couldn't even see me wearing like shorts. He's a very conservative, protective man, and if I cannot let loose and just figure things out myself, and I'm never gonna grow. I'm never gonna know what my potential is. And so I knew in my heart this was not it. Anyways, I had no choice. I'm like, okay, at least I go there and I'll figure it out when I get there. So I went with my dad, and I remember I went there for a year and a half, but it was a mixture of traveling to different places, and it wasn't about auditioning or anything like that. Of course, I'm grateful that he cared for me to come with me out there, and he wanted to help me. But there was no way that anything was going to be happening, because my frequency was so restricted and I could not kind of spread my wings and fly. I was a bird in a cage. And so Bollywood was all about, connections, who can you meet, all that kind of stuff. I was so shy. Like right now, the person that you see is a whole different human being, because I could not even talk to somebody. Like I was very, very anxious, shy, scared really. And it was because of my conditioning, which I can see now. So I remember getting a photo shoot done, and this was before my nose job, by the way. So I did have a nose job. It was a very famous photographer there, and he kind of mocked the shape of my nose, and he said it looked like a parrot, which is great. That's exactly what a 20-year-old woman wants to hear, doesn't she? And a little bit of backstory about this. I'll probably make a video on this later on, but I was always bullied for my nose, and it was like a reoccurring theme that just kept on happening and happening. And at one point I was like, this is enough. Like when that guy told me that in India, and I was like, you know what? I'm getting a nose job and I'm getting rid of this nose. I know it's not funny, but to me now it is really funny. And so that's when I pleaded my dad, please, 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 I need a nose job. I felt so amazing after it, and I can't lie. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I regret it, and beauty's from within. And yes, it does come from within 100%, but it did give me that boost of confidence. After that, I remember meeting this guy that was apparently a director, and my dad kind of knew him. Now that I look back at it, I think my dad kind of made it happen a little bit. This guy basically was telling me, if you come into this world, you gotta sleep with people, and it's a very casting couch. All that, those conversations are happening, which I get it. It does happen. I think after I heard him say that, I was so over it because it was like nothing was happening. I was remaining there with my dad. He wasn't letting me do anything. And so I was like, you know what? It's time for me to go back. I'm done with this. And so when I came back, I saw all my high school friends in university getting a degree, and I am still confused as to what I meant to be doing. And so after that, I needed to get a job because I needed to make money. I couldn't just sit in my mom's home and do nothing at all. So I decided to get a job at a restaurant, and so that is where I started working for about 5 to 6 months. Right after that, my mom saw this job application for the Emirates airline, and she really was upselling me, you have to go there. It's going to be amazing. You're going to save so much money. And so I did apply, and I went through the whole process, which is one of the most grueling processes I've ever been through. And out of 600, only 8 people get chosen. It is insane how this works. I'm grateful that I got chosen. It was meant to be. It was all part of the destiny, right? After I completed the last interview, I didn't receive a single call from them. I thought I didn't get the job. And so this is again law of attraction. This is the law. Whenever you're stressing about something, whenever you're trying to force things to happen, why isn't this happening for me? I was in that mindset because I was actually very excited about going to Dubai, and I was Googling all the images. Like I was getting really amped up to go, and then I was not receiving any sort of calls from them. And so I really didn't think that I was going to get the job. So I decided then to do a makeup course for a couple of months. So I was doing the course, and I was having a lot of fun doing it, and I learned a lot. I'm pretty good at makeup. But again, it wasn't what lit up my soul. I was just doing it because I'll make some money and it'll be great. It'll lead me somewhere. Right after I finished that course, I got a call from Emirates, and that is where I got called to come within a couple of weeks. And so my life completely did a 360. So I went from doing a makeup course to then suddenly going to Dubai and working as an air hostess for the biggest airline in the world, which was one of the best experiences of my life. I can never ever falter anything in Emirates. Long story short, I lived in Dubai for about 6 years, moved back to Canada, got married, had a child, and again during that time I was working at a sales position in a makeup store. That was one of the most miserable times of my life. And this was also during COVID. But I just knew doing that job that my soul was just dying inside. Like I felt like a part of me was dying. And the environment was a bit toxic. The turnover was really fast. During all of these years that I just spoke about, the one common denominator in my mind was that I want to consistently put out content that other people are going to like, that is going to make me money. So even when I was working in Dubai, I was posting a lot of makeup content, which was fun and exciting, but I always felt like I was forcing myself. Something in me always knew that it was not authentic. It was not real. It did not come from a genuine place, and I do not believe that my work was helping anybody in any way. Not to say that makeup doesn't help people, because it definitely does, but my positioning, the way that I saw my content and the way that I was coming across, I do not believe was doing what my soul reincarnated into this body to do. That was not my purpose. And I always knew that. The funny thing is that whenever I was posting this content, I never got any views. I never got any recognition. And I always was looking for that. I was asking myself, why am I not blowing up? I'm funny. I'm smart. I'm beautiful. Like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I be successful at something? The reason why I didn't find success is because I was doing it from a place of ego, from how I look to other people. Am I making myself look great so other people think that I'm happy and I'm successful? It did not come from a genuine place where I was talking about the good parts and the bad parts. I was only showing the good parts. No matter how hard I tried, the amount of videos I posted, none of that made me feel happy inside. It just made me feel empty, to be very honest. And so after that whole phase in Dubai, when I was posting a lot of this content, which was getting a lot of views, but it still felt like I wasn't being me. I wasn't showcasing my soul. And so after that, when I became a mother, again, I was thinking about how can I work from home while also being able to look for my angel. And so that is when I got another idea. Hey, why don't I make a YouTube channel and talk about baby stuff? People will love that kind of content. And so again, I was posting, and my intention behind that was to make money. It was coming out of a lack. It wasn't about how do I serve humanity? How do I help somebody else? How do I serve somebody else? And only once I went through my dark night of the soul, got a divorce, I have a whole video on that. That is when I realized that my entire life up till now, I was not living in my truth. I was holding back. I was hiding parts of myself to portray and showcase a version that people would like. And that is not why we are here on this planet. We're here to showcase parts of ourselves that people are not going to like. But sometimes what I say to people, even in my videos, is triggering. And the reason why it is triggering is because it is meant to trigger you. I am here to fight with you. I'm here to argue with you, and I'm here to push you to be the best version of yourself. We all have this. We all live our lives with our egoic mind. And as you grow, as you get older, as you have children, you realize that the ego is important. It's not that we have to get rid of the ego, but we have to follow the pathway to our higher self, not to our egoic self, because our ego always wants us to stay comfortable. It wants us to survive. At the end of the day, you are meant to be here for a purpose. There is a reason why you're here. There is a gift that you're meant to give to the world. And the more you kind of hold that in, the more you avoid speaking your truth, the less you will attract your desires. So I believe this is my third YouTube channel. But now if you look back at my YouTube channel, which is very new, I just recently started this, it is coming from my truth. I am being 100% real with my views, with my opinions, with what I feel is right. And even if somebody doesn't agree with it, that's okay. We're not meant to agree on everything, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We are meant to have disagreements. We're not all meant to say, yeah, you're right and I'm right and kumbaya. We are meant to say, hey, listen, this is my point of view. That is your point of view. The only difference here is that now we respect each other's view. I like strawberry, you like chocolate, and guess what? At the end of the day, it's all ice cream. We're going to be fine. I have done so many things in my life, and I've always come from a mindset of what will I get? Now I come from a mindset of how can I help? How can I serve? How can I create impact in a human being, in one human being? How can I do that? And I want to prove it to you that following your purpose, following your guidance is going to lead you to happiness. It is going to lead you to abundance of money, of success, of joy. It'll naturally come to you. You don't have to sit there and beg, please God, can I have $10,000? Because you're in an energy of giving. And when you give, you get 10,000 fold. And I want to thank you guys for supporting this channel. And I really hope that my messages help you in some way. This video was for you to get inspired to ask yourself if you are following your purpose, if you're following your higher self, if you are doing things right now in your life that are gonna make your soul happy versus make your human version of the person that you have created with your ego happy? Are you trying to make your friends and your parents happy, or are you trying to make yourself happy? Always focus on yourself. That's not selfish. Focusing in on yourself is actually selfless, because when you can focus on yourself, when your cup is full, you can then help other people as well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one.